Good morning, students. Am I audible for you? Good morning. Am I audible? Okay. So let us start. Yesterday we have discussed about the current steering circuits. The concept of current steering is, you know that in an IC we will be having multiple number of stages of amplifiers. So each of these stages will require its own biasing circuits. So instead of designing separate biasing circuits for each amplifiers, what we will do is, by making use of a reference current source, we will be able to steer currents to appropriate locations. For that, we are making use of the mirror circuits. So if you see this Q1 and Q2, these two transistors, it forms a single mirror circuit that will design a current called I2, right? So this I2 is dependent on the reference source IREF. So the transistor Q1, Q2 together, it is called a current mirror circuit. Why? Because the I2 is dependent on IREF. And please note that if both the transistors Q1 and Q2 are matched, then almost the output current I2 will be equivalent to I reference. Then it is called as a perfect current mirror circuit because that mirroring is happening, right? Whatever the reference current I have designed by using this capital R, the reference current will be same as that of your output current. So Q1, Q2 will form a current mirror circuit. Similarly, here I'm going to steer a current I3 to some other location of that particular IC. So in order to steer a current I3, what I have done, I have connected this particular node to the gate of another transistor called Q3. So here Q2 and Q3 are connected to Q1. That is, the gate of Q1 and the gate of Q2 are interconnected. Similarly, the gate of Q1 and the gate of Q3 are interconnected so that you get the output current I3 in terms of IRF. Okay, so Q1, Q2 together, it forms or it constitutes a current mirror circuit. In similar way, Q1 and Q3 will also constitute a current mirror circuit. And the relation between the output current and the reference current is given by I2 is equal to, what is I2? I2 is the output current of Q2, which is dependent on the reference current. So I2 is equal to the reference current IRF into the aspect ratio of this particular transistor. What is the aspect ratio? It is nothing but the W by L ratio, the width to length ratio of the channel to the base 2. This 2 indicates it is of Q2 divided by the reference, which is a reference transistor here, it is Q1. Because you know that the reference current is flowing through Q1. Therefore, we need to mention the aspect ratio of Q1, that is W by L to the base 1. So as per equation 1, I have written an equation for I2 in terms of I reference as well as the corresponding aspect ratios. Similarly, we are going for I3. I3 is another output current that is flowing through Q3. This is a current steering circuit where I'm going to generate the current I3 from IRF similar to I2. Okay, because I2 is used for one stage, whereas I3 is used for some other part of the IC. So we are going for a new transistor called as Q3, and thereby we are generating I3. Again, you can see I2 is dependent on IRF. Similarly, I3 is also dependent on IRF because Q1 is connected to Q3 as a current mirror circuit. So how you can relate I3 with IRF? That is done by equation number 2. That is I3 is equal to IRF into the aspect ratio of Q3, because I'm going to deal with this as output current, right? So we need to put this aspect ratio in the numerator divided by the aspect ratio of the reference transistor, that is nothing but Q1. So W by L to the base 1. So these two are the output currents of two current mirror circuits. So which are the two current mirror circuit, students? One set of the current mirror circuit is formed by Q1 and Q2, and another set is Q1 and Q3, where Q1, Q2, Q3 are N MOSFET, like N channel MOSFET, right? And apart from these three transistors, we are having two more transistors called as Q4 and Q5. The difference is that Q4 and Q5 are PMOS. Q4 and Q5 are PMOS. You can see that arrow is inverts. Unlike Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and Q5 are PMOS transistors. And you can see that the drain of Q3 is connected to the drain of Q4, which means that I3 is equal to I4. So when Q5 is the output transistor that we are considering, the output current will be I5, which will be dependent on I4. So as far as Q5 is considered, which is the reference current, it is nothing but I4. Just like these two current mirror circuit, if I'm considering I2 as output current, which is a reference current, it is IREF. Here, if I'm considering I3 as output current, which is a reference current, it is IREF. Just like that, if you consider Q4, Q5 together, and I5 is my output current, then which is your reference current, student? It is nothing but I4. Clear? Where I4 is equal to I3. Why? Because I have connected the transistor Q3 and Q4 together, and it is shorted by its drain terminals. And the source terminals are connected to the supply voltage, the common supply voltage. Okay. Now, since this is a P MOSFET, you know that the gate should be negative. The P channel MOSFET, so gate should be highly negative. So here I will put negative symbol, whereas at the source I will be putting positive symbol. So which means that the source is at a higher potential than gate. So I can represent this voltage as VSG. And I will also show a subscript 5 because this is in connected with Q5 transistor, which is considering as a output transistor, and I5 as a output current. Therefore, I will designate this voltage as VSG5, whereas here it is VGS1. Why this is VGS1, students? Because gate is more positive than source, because this is an N channel MOSFET, whereas this is a P channel MOSFET where source is more voltage than gate. The source is having more positive voltage than gate. Therefore, I will represent the gate source voltage as VSG, and the 5 indicates this is with respect to the transistor Q5. So likewise, we can construct current steering circuits by making use of PMOS and NMOS devices. So whatever current you require, suppose I need I2 in one stage, in another stage I need I3, in another stage I need I5 of different magnitudes. Accordingly, we can take our transistors, output transistors Q2, Q3, Q5, etc., and maintain its aspect ratios and find the output current in terms of the reference current. But please see that if the two transistors are identical, their aspect ratios will be same. In that case, the output current will be equal to the reference current. Then it is called as a perfect current mirror circuit. Otherwise, if they are mismatched, then we will get the output current, which is a particular ratio of the reference current, or a fraction of the reference current, maybe half, 1/2, 1/3, 3/4, like that. So that depends upon the aspect ratio of the reference transistor and the output transistor. Is the concept is clear for you, students? Any doubts? Okay, now we will try to define the condition in order to make this Q2 and Q3 in saturation. I told you, if you are considering this NMOS transistors alone, Q1, Q2 will form a current mirror circuit. Similarly, Q1, Q3 will also form another set of current mirror circuit. And for the faithful current mirroring process, the transistor should be in saturation region. And what is the condition for saturation of an NMOS transistor? The condition is the output voltage, that is VDS, should be greater than VGS minus VT. If you can maintain this particular condition, then always this particular transistor will be in saturation region and mirroring task will happen properly. What do you mean by mirroring? I2 will be a fraction of IRF or equal to IRF, that depends upon the aspect ratio according to equation number 1 and 2. So this equation 1 and 2 will hold good only if the transistor operates in saturation. And what is the condition of saturation? The conditions of saturation is VD2. VD2 means it is the output voltage of Q2 should be greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. But here I have introduced one more term, that is minus VSS, because you can see from the circuit diagram, the source is connected to a negative power supply called minus VSS. If I would have connected this source to the ground, then I can write the saturation condition as VGS minus VT. But now I have connected my source to the negative power supply. So that should be considered while writing my condition for saturation. So what is the condition for saturation? That output voltage or the drain voltage of Q2, which is equal to VD2, that should be greater than or equal to VGS1 minus VSS minus VT, where minus VSS is the voltage that I have connected to the source terminal. Now VGS1 minus VT is your overdrive voltage VOV. VGS1 minus VT is the overdrive voltage VOV1. So the output voltage can now be written as VD2 greater than or equal to VOV1 minus VSS. So this is the condition to be satisfied for this particular set of current mirror. You know that there are many current mirror circuits in a current steering. Why I should need more current mirror circuits or multiple current mirror circuits? Because in an IC we need many stages, right? There will be many amplifying stages. So for each stages, I should deliver different current according to its need. So I should go for I2, I should go for I3, I should go for I5. Everything it depends on what? Everything directly or indirectly depends on what? I reference, isn't it? You can see I2 is dependent on I reference, I3 is dependent on I reference, but I5 is depending on what? I4, but I4 is I3. I'm telling I5 is depending on I4, but I4 is equal to I3 from the circuit diagram, whereas I3 is depending on I reference. So you can say that the final current I5 is indirectly depending upon the reference current. This is what is called current steering. So at the required locations of an IC, I will be able to deliver the desired current by making use of a reference current source called IRF. This is called as current steering. But for this current steering to happen, or for proper working of a current mirror circuit, we need to ensure some condition. The condition is the transistor should be in the saturation. So if I'm taking Q2 alone, then the condition for saturation is given by equation number, this equation, that is VD2 greater than or equal to VOV1 minus VSS. Clear? Now, similarly, this condition is also applicable to Q3. This condition is also applicable to Q3. Why? Because the voltage VGS1 is also applicable to Q3. They are connected in parallel, isn't it? These two transistors, they are connected in parallel with the Q1. You can see the two gates are interconnected. Here also the gate of Q1 is connected to gate of Q3. Even the sources, all the source terminals are connected to minus VSS, which means that the gate source voltage of Q3 is also equal to what? VGS1. Understood? So the saturation condition of Q3 can be now written as VD3. What is VD3? It's output voltage of Q3 should be greater than or equal to same equation. VGS1 minus VSS minus VT, where VGS1 minus VT is VOV1. Therefore, I can write the equation as VD3 greater than or equal to VOV1 minus VSS. Okay. Therefore, two transistors Q2 and Q3 has now been operated in saturation region. Therefore, we will be getting proper current I2 and I3 in terms of IRF. That is, current steering will work properly as far as the three transistors are concerned. Any doubts till this point? So what you need to do is you need to write the expressions for I2 and I3. I2 and I3 in terms of So what you need to do is you need to write the expressions for I2 and I3 in terms of I reference. Further, you also need to write the conditions in terms of voltage for the proper working of the two mirror circuits. Okay. So how many mirror circuits are there, students? As far as Q1, Q2, Q3 is considered, there are two current mirror circuits. One is Q1, Q2, another combination is Q1, Q3. Now coming to the next portion, what is the next portion? That is PMOS. Okay. The next part that we have in the circuitry is the PMOS transistor Q4 and Q5. This will constitute the third current mirror circuit. Q1, Q2 forms one current mirror. Q1, Q3 will form the second current mirror. Similarly, Q4, Q5 is also forming the third current mirror circuit. So in this current steering circuit, we are having three current mirror circuits that will produce or that will deliver the output currents I2, I3 as well as I5 in terms of I reference. So let us discuss what is I5. You know that I5 is the output current of Q5, which is depending upon the reference current I4, because Q4 is the reference transistor as far as Q5 is considered. Okay, so how we are going to write the equation for I5 in terms of I4? The equation is given by I5 is equal to I4 into I5 is equal to I4 into the aspect ratio of Q5 divided by the aspect ratio of Q4. Okay, so I5 is equal to I4 into W by L to the base 5 divided by W by L to the base 4. And also you can see the current I4 is same as that of I3. Why? Because I have interconnected the drain terminals of Q3 and Q4. Therefore, I4 is equal to I3. Now, to ensure this operation, this is the current mirroring action, right? I5, you can generate I5 in terms of I4. Whereas how did you set I4? I4 is set by I3. Whereas I3 is set by what? I3 is set by I reference, isn't it? So indirectly you can tell I5 is controlled by the reference current I reference. So for this equation to be satisfied, again, the transistor Q5 is to be in which region? Saturation region. So I need to bias the transistor Q5 in saturation region. Only then this mirroring will happen. Clear? Are you agreeing this is a mirroring circuit, right? You can control I5 in terms of I4, where I4 is I3, where I3 is defined by I reference by using equation number 2. So indirectly, you can say that the current I5 is controlled by the reference current I. That is nothing but your current steering. But to ensure this operation, I need to make this Q5 in saturation region. But you can see that the transistor Q5 is in PMOS. It is not NMOS, it is a PMOS. So the condition of saturation will be just opposite to that of the NMOS. So how you will write the condition of saturation? The output voltage of Q5, the output voltage of Q5, that is VD5, should be less than or equal to. Instead of putting greater than or equal to, what you will write, students? Less than or equal to, there it was VGS minus VT, isn't it? In the NMOS, what was the condition? VD greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. Here, VD is less than negative VSG plus VT. Negative VSG5 plus VT. You need to change the sign for the threshold voltage as well as the source gate voltage. Okay. So VD5 should be less than or equal to minus VSG5 plus VT. And also you can see that the transistor's source terminal is connected to the supply voltage VDD. So that is to be also considered. So you need to add the particular voltage. Just I have added negative VSS here. Here I need to add plus VDD to that particular term. The condition for saturation is the output voltage of Q5 should be less than or equal to. Why the term less than or equal to? Because this is a converse case of NMOS transistor. Q5 is PMOS. Okay. So the gate voltage will be negative. Therefore, I put minus VSD. Then the threshold voltage will be positive for a PMOS device. So I have to show it as VT. Okay. That is minus of minus VT. Therefore, it became positivity. Whereas in the previous case, it was minus VT. Here I will be putting positive VT. And apart from that, I need to add the supply voltage which I have connected to the drain terminal. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite this term. How I'm going to rewrite? Less than or equal to. I will retain this term VDD here. I'll take minus outside. If I'm taking minus outside, this will become positive and this will become negative. So minus of VSG5 minus VT, where VSG5 minus VT can be considered as the overdrive voltage of each transistor Q5. So I will be considering this as VOB5. Okay, VOB5, and I will be putting it in the magnitude, that is the modulus value. So modulus of VOB5, because this is a PMOS transistor. Okay, so the condition is VD5 less than or equal to VDD minus VOB5. That's overdrive voltage of Q5. So if you can maintain this condition, then Q5 will be in saturation. And if you can maintain this condition, Q3 will be in saturation. And similarly, Q2 will be in saturation. Then accordingly, I can steer appropriate currents I2, I3, and I5 from I reference. Therefore, this current steering circuit will work properly without any problem. Okay. Now, you can see that all these circuits will be inside the ICs, inside this particular IC. Okay. Now, if you compare the two transistors Q2 and Q5, I'm going to compare the two transistors Q2 and Q5. Okay. What is the functionality of this transistor? You can say that you are pushing a current I2, right? You are pushing a current I2 from the load. Here I'll be connecting the load, right? What is load? Load is nothing but the amplifier part or the active circuit, which is going to be, which is going to work with this particular current mirror circuit. Here, what is this transistor doing? The transistor Q2, it pulls its current from the load. Kindly assume that in this dotted line, I'll be connecting many other circuits like active load, which will be operating with this particular current mirror circuitry. So what this current is doing, this current is, this transistor is pulling the current, right? It is pulling the current from the, load. Okay. It pulls the current I2 from the load. Whereas if you see the transistor Q5, here you will be connecting the load at the drain terminal of Q5, you will be connecting the load. So Q5 is pushing this output current to the load. One is pulling and another one is pushing. Okay. So this can be considered as the source and this can be considered as the sink. Since it is delivering a current to the load, I'll be calling it as a source transistor, while the previous one is a sink. So Q5 will be a current source and Q2 is a current sink. Current sink means where the element at which the current sinks, right? Always the current will be flowing from the source to the sink, right? So here the Q2 will be considered as a current sink. Why? Because that particular transistor is pulling the current from the particular load, whereas Q5 is pushing its own current I5 into the load. Therefore, it is called as a current source. If you take one integrated circuit, you will be having these two transistors. That is, one transistor will be acting as a current source and another one is acting as a current sink. So usually you can find both these source as well as sink in an IC. So without sink, without heat sinks, we won't be able to compensate the problems of heat dissipations, right? So always there should be sink terminal at which the current has to be synced, and always there should be a current source from which the current has to be originated or current has to be pulled up, right? So in an IC, if you take, there will be both current source and current sinks. So they are actually needed by manufacturing an IC. So by using this current steering circuits, we have incorporated the current sink as well as current source circuits by making use of the transistors Q2 and Q5. So this is a working of a simple current steering circuit. So what we have done is we have written the equations for I2 and I3 and I4, I5 in terms of I reference. Apart from that, I have also stated the saturation condition for Q2, Q3 and Q5. Then I have compared the performances of Q2 and Q5 in terms of current source and current sink operations. Okay, so these are the three highlights of this particular circuit. Any doubts, students? This is very important. So till this particular portion you have for your CIE 2. Okay. That entire module 2 will be there. Second module, I mean third module will be there. Okay. And in the fourth module, you will be having these two portions. That is current source and current steering circuit. Any doubts? M.A. Priya? Sandeep? Soumya?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Okay. Now next topic. Or if you write the next topic, current mirror circuits with improved performance. Current mirror circuits with improved performance. So till now in this module, we have learned what is current mirror, right? How the current mirror works, what are the necessary conditions to be satisfied while designing a current mirror. Then we have also learned current steering circuits, which will make use of multiple current mirrors, in which one transistor will act as current sink and another transistor will act as current. So all these we have learned. Now, it is time to discuss about different current mirror circuits which will perform very well when compared to the conventional current mirror circuit. So what is the use of current mirror circuits with improved performance? Of course, there will be some limitations with the conventional current mirror circuits that we are not achieving some optimization targets. Okay, so to compensate those problems, we are going to propose some advanced current mirror circuits with improved performance. Okay, so what are the main performance parameters while assessing the performance of a current mirror circuit? You know that any microelectronic circuit, if you take, the performance of the circuits can be compared by using some specifications or parameters, isn't it? So here, if you take a current mirror circuit, we have the two important parameters. One is the accuracy of current transfer ratio, and second one is the output resistance. So please note down the two performance parameters of a current mirror circuits are, one is the accuracy of current transfer ratio. Accuracy of current transfer ratio. Accuracy of current transfer ratio means it is nothing but the ratio of I naught by I ref. The ratio of output current with reference current or the input current. That is what is called as current transfer ratio. So ideally, if you take a current mirror circuit, the ratio should be 1:1, right? Theoretically, you can tell that always output current is equal to the reference current if you discard the channel modulation effects. So when sorry, so when output current is equal to the reference current, the ratio, that is a current transfer ratio, will be 1:1, theoretically or ideally for a current mirror circuit. But due to the practical constraints, like whatever we have discussed in the class, that is effect of V naught or the effect of channel modulation, because of that, the I naught will vary from IRF. If I naught varies from IRF, means what will happen? The ratio will not be 1:1. That 1:1 ratio will is now disturbed, right? It's getting disturbed. So that means accuracy has been reduced. So one parameter to assess the performance of a current mirror circuit is the ratio. What ratio? I naught by IRF ratio, which is otherwise called as current transfer ratio. It should be ideally 1:1. So our objective is to design better mirror circuits or practical mirror circuits, which will provide the ratio very much close to 1:1 or precisely equal to 1:1. If the ratio is not 1:1, means it means that it is not a mirror circuit, but it acts as a current steering circuit. But in order to be a mirror circuit, the ratio should be 1:1. So our objective is to design mirror circuits, current mirror circuits, whose current transfer ratio should be ideally equal to 1:1. So this is the one performance parameter that we have. Clear? Gautam, is that clear? Rupen, yes, Rupendran. Am I audible for you? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, okay. The second parameter is the output resistance. So first parameter was the current transfer ratio. The second parameter is called the output resistance of the current source. Okay. Ideally, the output resistance of a current source should be very large. But if you see a conventional current source or current mirror circuits, the output resistance will be very limited or very finite. So what you need to do is you need to go for some advanced circuits where you can able to achieve high output resistance. Okay, so these are the two conditions to be satisfied for a current source. So if you see a conventional current source or current mirror circuits, what are their drawbacks? The drawbacks are, first one, the accuracy will be very less. That means it will not be a 1:1 ratio, and that is particularly because of the finite effects of beta of BJTs. Conventional current sources means they will be making use of bipolar junction transistors. Instead of MOSFETs, the conventional current sources will make use of bipolar junction transistors or the ordinary transistors. But if you make use of this ordinary transistors, because of their finite beta effects, the current transfer ratio will not be 1:1. That is one disadvantage. So I'll be explaining this finite beta effects later in a very clear way. So at that time, you'll be able to understand. But right now, you just try to understand that if you see the conventional current sources, their current transfer ratio will not be 1:1. It will be very much different from 1:1. That is, it is not a current mirror. Okay, we can't achieve the current transfer ratio in a desirable way. Secondly, the R naught value will be very less if we are making use of the MOSFETs. Okay, the output resistance are very limited. Output resistance of the MOSFET is very limited. So that is going to affect our current mirror circuit. So kindly understand that current mirror circuit can be fabricated by making use of BJTs or by making use of MOSFETs. If we are making use of BJT, then the problem is with our current transfer ratio. If we are making use of MOSFETs, then the problem is with our output resistance. So somehow both parameters are going to be affected. So what we are going to do is we are studying some new mirror circuits which will compensate these two drawbacks. That is improving the current transfer ratio, making it as 1:1, and similarly increasing the output resistance towards a high value in spite of using the conventional MOSFET devices. So these are the two parameters which